Yes. Thank for everybody for tuning in. Man, yeah, we finna get started. This is episode 1, The Independence Way. Today I'm gonna, share with y'all how to put together your own self-funded tour. For those that don't know, my name is Bryce Savoy. I'm an independent rapper, entrepreneur, and a leader from East Oakland, California. Just almost wrapped up. Got one more stop left, but just essentially almost wrapped up my first ever tour, self-funded headline tour, 5-city tour, the Independence Tour. I went to DC, I went to New York, I went to Chicago, I went to my hometown, of course, Oakland, California, and the 5th and final stop is to be determined once all this COVID-19 stuff passes in Los Angeles, California. So the purpose of this IG Live series is to highlight people, who are operating, I feel, as like independent entities in whatever fields they're in. So through the duration of this series, I'll have special guests. I'll be interviewing them, and getting everything to you guys, getting all the best info, all the best content that I can. First and foremost, everybody that's in this chat right now, is in this live rather, you are neighborhood diamonds. Neighborhood diamonds. Represent diamonds in the rough for a while. So, neighborhood diamonds. It's my first time even explaining this. Neighborhood diamonds represent, the tagline is neighborhood diamonds represent diamonds in the rough worldwide. And so, neighborhood diamonds is anybody out there that's in their specific field, not looking to compromise who they are, just staying down for however long it takes to get whatever God has in store for them. So every time you see me comment that 3 diamonds, that's what that symbolizes. So if y'all listening, if y'all tuned in, let me see some 3 diamonds real quick. To make me know that y'all neighborhood diamonds. Let's get it. Neighborhood diamonds. Throw them 3 diamonds in there for me. So that's what that stands for. And that's what we're gonna get into. So without further ado, let me get into this tour stuff. So first and foremost, booking your own tour, right? So let me kind of backtrack. October of 2019, I had no idea, no imagination to even do a tour. I had just rolled out my latest project, Bryce Savoy 2, which is available now on all platforms. But when I first released it, it was only available, shout out my boy Bell, it was exclusively available on BryceSavoy.com. So I was pushing that. Yes, I rolled that out September 6th. You can still find that project for $10 on BryceSavoy.com, and that's where it was at. So from there, I was at a bar with a couple friends. Shout out my boy BT from Chicago, the DJ as well. Shout out my boy Jakar from Chicago. And they put the idea to do a tour in my head. They just put it out there, said that you could do it. And literally from that conversation, I want to say October 15th, 2019, that was the genesis of booking the tour. Now, mind you, I'm 100% independent artist. What that means, I don't have no financial backing. Everything that I fund, everything that I do, my art, 100% comes out of my own pocket. And so this tour was something that was like my biggest challenge or my biggest test yet, if you will. So throughout the process, I learned a lot, and that's what I'm gonna share with y'all today. Step number 1, first and foremost, before you go any further, we gotta let it be known that you need what they call a press kit. An EPK, for short term, stands for electronic press kit. That's what you need to get anything started. That is essentially, as an artist, as a creative, that's your resume. You can get it done. A lot of graphic designers do it. I had my coworker, a good friend of mine, create mines. I'm gonna show y'all real quick what it looks like. This is step 1 before you do anything. Any venue that you're gonna talk to, 9 times out of 10, they wanna see your press kit. So let me show y'all real quick on my laptop. This is my press kit. This is 4 pages, as you can see. First page And I'll be putting all of this info into something larger later, but I just wanted to give y'all some game on how it works. Press kit, first page. Shit ain't scrolling. That's me. It's just a picture, general picture. Shout out my boy Trouble. I see you, boy. Second page. Oh yeah, ASAP. Saving this. Second page is just essentially who I am. Just a general 1 to 2 paragraphs of who I am, what I stand for. I got my logos, Forever Oakland right here. I got the Black neighborhood right here. That just to give whoever tuned in, whatever venue I'm talking to, they kind of get an understanding of what it is that I do, what I stand for. Music, obviously. You see that's my latest project, Bryce Savoy 2. That's how I released it. That's the date. The numbers in terms of how many downloads. At that time, I had 150 plus downloads that far. So that's what I had. You got your social reach, your numbers, social media numbers, of course. My followers on Instagram, my followers on Twitter, my YouTube subscribers, 43. Look at that. Small number. And then last page is another professional quality photo with all info. Shout out my boy Will, and social media handles. So that's essentially what an EPK is. No more than 4 pages. Essentially just, showing whoever you're talking to what you stand for, what you represent. If they don't know you already, that's just the easiest way, professional way to do that. So that's what I did. I got together, got a press kit done. And then from there, next step was research. A lot of these venues y'all familiar with. I know some of y'all in this live go to a lot of chats, go to a lot of, shows rather. So y'all know what venues that y'all like, what venues I've been to. And so what I started doing is kind of going to more shows, kind of seeing what was out there. Main thing I was looking for was capacity-wise, venue capacity, no more than 200 people. I realized where I'm at, obviously in my career, I don't have a huge following, but I know I could, pack, 150 to 200 capacity venue. So those were the ones that I was going for. So from there, researching, looking out, talking to people. Before I got into the venues, when I found the venues that I wanted to go to, the next step was talent buyers. Reaching out, finding out who these talent buyers are by name and reaching out to them in whatever contact info usually provided on their website. Now, for anybody that don't know what a talent buyer is, a talent buyer is a promoter. Same term, promoter, talent buyer. These are people who work at these different venues, whatever venue you can name, 100 venues. These are people who work at these venues and are responsible for booking acts. Every single venue has a talent buyer. The hardest part is finding out who they are, and then even harder than that is being able to get them to respond to you. So for me, and I'll get into it a little bit, but a lot of the venues, a couple of the venues that I was reaching out to, I had somebody that I knew that had either a personal relationship with these talent buyers or a business relationship, whatever the case may be. I had a couple workarounds. There were some people, however, I had to reach out to blindly and just let them know who I am. And I got some responses. Some of them I didn't. But the main thing I want y'all to know is, like, you don't have to have, like, I thought in order for me to book a tour, I would have to have crazy streaming numbers, crazy social media following, blase. But none of that is true, bro. I'm here to tell y'all, like, as long as you know how to, like, use your mouthpiece, communicate, and can bring people out, that's all that matters. So when I found out these talent buyers' names from like doing my research, LinkedIn was very useful. Google searching, just literally going Los Angeles talent buyer, the name of the venue. Sometimes they'll pop up, sometimes they wouldn't. That's how I was able to kind of like figure out who these talent buyers were in whatever city that I wanted to go to. So from there, looking at the talent buyers, and then it was like, damn, okay, I got my talent buyers, I got my press kit. Now I'm ready to move forward. Next step, searching these calendars, and mind you, I know it's a lot of like work, but it's really not that hard once you kind of get in the swing of things. I'm just kind of giving y'all the game from how I got it. So get talent buyers, you email them, but before you email them, the best thing to do is to check that venue's calendar. that venue's event calendar, because it could be a date that you want that's already booked. It could be not booked, or it could show up as like not booked on the website, but they're doing what they call a hold for a specific act. So you may not see it as booked, but it's a hold. So these are all things that I had to kind of like do prior. And so essentially what I did was, once I figured all that out, reached out to these talent buyers. Some of them I knew by name, some of them I didn't. Now what I'm gonna show y'all is actual email from that I sent to one of the talent buyers, and this is an email, this is a message that I got a response for. So I want y'all to just see. I'm giving y'all real game. I want how everything was locked in. Hold on. All right, bet. So this is my email. You see my email, obviously, whatever. Talent buyer, reached out to him. Shout out my boy Tay Money. Good evening, Jason. My name is Bryce Bloyd, blah, blah, blah. Who I am, what I represent. And in bold, which is really important, is the actual expected dates that I wanted to have the tour on. So Thursday, March 12th, or Friday. Told him that it happened to be my 28th birthday, try to leverage that. And this is the draw. How many people did I expect that I could draw? 100 to 125 people. A brief overview of what the tour was about. My press kit, as you see that I showed y'all attached. My links to my website, videos, social media, all that. So that was just a quick glimpse of what I had to do. Shout out my boy AJ to kind of, that's the language. I had to communicate with them. This is what it is. I came to the table already with everything. So you want to make sure when you're sending these emails out that you giving the talent buyer the least amount of work as possible. So all they really got to do is say yes or no. This date works. This date doesn't. On the date that I had in mind, I couldn't do. So we had to end up rescheduling and picking a date, but we got it confirmed. And so main thing, finding the talent buyer's name. Once you find the name, send out the email. Once you send out the email, make sure you include the press kit, some tentative dates. Make sure those dates are not blocked out on their calendar already. If you can, add who you already got as your supporting acts. Like, all of this stuff matters when it comes down to actually sending these emails. It may seem like a lot of work, but I'll tell you, once I got the flow of it, it was literally copying, pasting, changing names, changing dates, and from there it was good to go. A lot of people, a lot of venues for the most part did respond. Some of them didn't respond, but shit, that's okay. Like, I had already had it in my head that I wasn't taking no for an answer, so the non-responses didn't faze me. I called up venues, like, it wasn't no stopping me at that point. So got all of that confirmed, right? So now, at this point, dates confirmed, or at least I'm starting a conversation with these venues. We figuring out what days make sense. Next step from there was like, okay, so I got the dates confirmed. I know the different places that I want to go to. I got all of that set up. At this point, I didn't have no tickets booked. I didn't know exactly where I was going to stay. I just had that initial phase done, that initial part. So you got the setup, you got the talent buyers, finding the talent buyers, figuring out what dates work for you and your team, getting the EPK. Everybody needs an EPK, a press kit, to be able to professionally move around. The next step from there was travel, booking travel and booking where I was going to stay. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm sorry. It's a lot of info. Money. We're talking about funding, right? So I told y'all I funded this tour 100% on my own, out of my own pocket. And so with that being said, it came down to how can I, business-wise, how does this make the most sense for me to be able to move freely and not, lose any money, not miss out on any money, but make sure that everything that I'm keeping there is a database and it's an actual tracking. So what I would suggest for all artists, anybody, business people, entrepreneurs, whoever's in this live right now, is to get you a LLC. That's what I did. Now, LLC, for me, it only cost $70. I went to rocketlawyer.com and I put all of that in the info after I created the LLC. One of the main reasons why is protection, right? So in the event, let's just say on tour, on the road, I was to get sued, anything happens, some liability damage, whatever the case it may be, I have that LLC to protect my assets, my personal assets from the LLC. So the LLC is a separate entity for the most part. So I have Bryson Voigt LLC, did that, took about 1 or 2 weeks to get the articles of incorporation. But the main thing too that comes with the LLC, another advantage is you get what is called an EIN number, and that's essentially a social security number, if you will, for that whatever you created is. Mine is called Bryson Voigt LLC. So I have an EIN number. Now with that EIN number, I took that to my bank, Wells Fargo, who I bank with, and I created a business account. So you get what I'm saying now. So I have my personal account with my funds in there, just personal account, and then now I got the business account, Bryson Voigt LLC. Now the cool thing about that was, so now when it's time, anything that's music related, from tickets, from Ubers, anything that's related to my business endeavors, I'm able to write that off on the back end when it's all said and done. And so I created the LLC, and that was able, so I took care of my flights, everything, flights, merchandise, any upfront cost that I had, I took care of it through the LLC. And now when I file taxes, I still haven't done it yet. When I filed taxes, I kept all of my receipts from everything. And I'm able to write it off on the LLC. So that's the purpose of creating the LLC. Now the only thing about creating the LLC is every year you gotta pay $800 in what they call annual franchise taxes. So create the LLC. Next step was booking travel. Now I kid you not, for me, I only spent $400 plus on travel. Good question, Ash. LLC it cost $70 to create it. And that was really the only, so that included, with that $70, it included the articles of incorporation, which you need to be incorporated in the state of California. It included the EIN number, which you can use to go create a bank account. And that was the main things that I needed. And so $70, $70, $80, you get all of that in less than 2 weeks. That's what it cost, $70 to start an LLC, created the LLC, I got my bank account. Now, all I had to do was book my travel. So let me show y'all, or I can just say the dates. So here were the dates that I picked. And mind you, I routed all of this based off of what venues said yeah or nay. We got DC, February 15th. We had NY, February 20th. Chicago, February 28th. Oakland, March 5th. LA, March 13th. Now, in terms of travel, how did I book it? DC, I said, okay, I'm gonna fly into DC, and when it's time to leave to go to NY, instead of paying for another flight, shout out my boy Heavy Crowns, instead of paying for another flight, I said, I'll just megabus from DC to New York, which is only like a 3-hour bus ride. So, you know, that's cutting costs right there. And then from NY, I flew out of NY back to LA just for a day turnaround, and then back to Chicago, which was another like one-way trip, and then back to Oakland, and then drove back to LA. So it just all depends on what works best for you. For me, it was just like, it made the most sense to just drive, or to like take a plane or take the bus when I can, but more importantly, try to like cut down on costs. Like I'm on a tight budget, so it's like I'm trying to cut down on costs as much as possible. So I booked all of that, got the flights booked, which was a great thing about it. And some of y'all may have these same resources, is that I was able to stay with people in every city that I went to. DC, I had a place to stay. New York, I had a place to stay. Chicago, I had a place to stay, which is a blessing. So I didn't have to worry about booking no hotels, booking no, only thing I had to worry about in terms of travel-wise is booking Ubers for the most part. That was probably like the most expensive thing. Shout out Khadijah, my sister Khadijah in here. But yeah, so from there, once I had everything booked, you got to think about merch. So I had independent merch. I copped independent merch down here in LA. Now the hardest thing, or the next thing I had to think about, is how to transport it. It was like, fuck, how am I gonna get 20 pieces of merch in each city, to each city rather? So Southwest, If y'all booking airlines, I would suggest Southwest. I know everybody got their preference, but the reason why I rocked with Southwest is because you get 2 free bags. 2 free bags. 2 free bags. Jetpack, great question. Traveling solo, yes. Traveling solo. Now I know if some of you have a team, a foolproof team, and so it's different for you got a team. Like you got to think about expenses and covering people's traveling and lodging, and which was a good part for me. Like Jetpack alluded to, I was traveling solo, so the only thing I had to worry about is getting myself out there and then getting my merch out there. So I had 2 free bags. I had 1 bag, 2 bags that I checked in rather. 1 bag with my stuff, my clothes, and then 1 bag full of merch, all my merch. So that's 2 bags. I had to carry it around a little bit, which was whatever, but that was really all I had to really worry about is getting those 2 bags to and fro. And it was free with Southwest, so that's an expense, another expense I don't have to worry about. So far, it's a lot of info. Like I said, I'm gonna put everything, for those who missed some of it, I'm gonna put everything into one document. Kind of that'd be most beneficial, but we talked about reaching out to venues, having a press kit, talked about routing your tour. What I prefer, what I would suggest, but everybody can't, it depends on what you want to do, is creating an LLC, which allows you to have your own separate bank account, so you don't have to worry about co-mingling or like mingling your funds, your personal funds with your business funds. You can just put everything in one account. So I got all that squared away. I had my EPK. I talked to the venues. They're giving me dates. I'm figuring out what works. I'm locking in dates. And mind you, this is all in October. They usually say you're supposed to do, I announced a tour in January. They say you're supposed to announce or have tours at least like scheduled 5 months out. So I'm kind of, cutting it on time and shit. It worked for me. It may not work for everybody, but 3 months in advance, I had everything planned out. So this is me literally emailing all of these talent buyers, calling them on the phone, confirming dates, and all that stuff. Shout out to my brothers Jakar and BT, helped me out a little bit. Shout out my brothers Tay Money in New York, helped me out tremendously. Shout out Gig Finesse in New York. Shout out Moses, D-Nas, and all the hosts and all the different venues that helped me out. Heavy, how did you find the venues? I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but in terms of finding the venues, it was just a matter of research, venues that I've been to, venues that people were giving me, like, oh, these are certain venues to check out, and just doing my research, hitting that internet, and that was really it. That was the best way for me to find those venues, and that was what it was. Molly, you said, did you speak on when you had to switch last venue due to COVID-19? Great question, Molly. So for those that don't know, I had 5 stops. The 5th and final stop was supposed to be on my birthday, which was March 13th in LA, Foxhole, Hollywood. But due to everything that happened with COVID-19, they decided to postpone it. So I spoke to them. People bought tickets, and all tickets, people who are bought it could have had the option to either refund it or transfer it to whenever we have a new date. And so a lot of people just held on to the tickets. The venue was like, no, it's all good. I didn't have to. And this is what we're going to get into. Let me get into this last section so y'all can kind of figure out and see the different deal structures, which are probably the most important part is the deal structures. So each venue, right? When you're working with each venue, they have certain deal structures. And what I'm going to do real quick is kind of break down the different ones so y'all can kind of see what works best. So for the first venue, I perform at a venue called Songbird DC, which is in Washington, DC, right? So they have the upstairs and they have the downstairs, which is like the main stage where all of the acts that come and perform there, that's where they perform at. And so because I never performed there before, it was more of me, like I took this tour as building leverage to kind of get my name out there, but also work with these venues and let them know that I could bring people out. They said, okay, look, we have an upstairs, which is a smaller room. The capacity is 80 people. They said, what we're gonna do is give you what they call a guarantee. Now, guarantee, if you ever hear the word guarantee, as the name implies, it's a guaranteed amount. So they told me, No matter if anybody comes, if it's one person or if it's 50 people, you'll still get paid the same amount. So what that means, that's way less. I don't have any overhead. I don't have to worry about or being pressured to sell tickets. It's more of like who comes, bro. So it's like they gave me a guarantee right off the bat. So I'm like, cool. I know if I get there, if I don't bring anybody out, if nobody comes for whatever reason, which I know that wasn't gonna happen, I'll still get paid at the end of the night. Fast forward, the capacity is 80. We ended up selling it out at 100 people. And so like you said, we packed it out. I got paid, and that was good. So that's good business. That's what they call a guarantee. So it's so many different deals, and I pretty much had every single deal that you could have for the most part when I was working with these venues. So that's what they call a guarantee. That means no matter how many people come, you still get paid whatever the amount is set, whatever y'all negotiate, whatever y'all agree on, you still get paid that same amount. When I went to NY was a different, it wasn't a struggle, it was just a different type of setup. So NY, they have a platform, and I suggest anybody that's looking to book any show in NY, y'all go through these people. Gig Finesse. The @ handle is @Gig Finesse, and I'll put that in all the info after that. But they were essentially, I told y'all before, talent buyers. They were essentially the talent buyers for the venues. So they didn't work at the venues directly, but they were the middleman, if you will, between the artists and the venues. They've been around for a couple of years. They really kind of like ran by some college kids, some dope people. Gig Finesse, I found out about them through my boy Tay Money, who helped me book the NY stop. Shout out to him. And so Gig Finesse, all they really do is, if you come to NY, you can probably look and see all the top venues for the most part. They have a relationship with these venues. So what they do is, if you got an artist or you are an artist and you want to perform, they say, okay, cool, come together with this venue. With this list of supporting acts, and we'll put you in as a supporting act as well. Now, since I had already had my supporting acts, shout out Sellers Hamilton, shout out Caviar Sundays, I already had that squared away. So since I had my own supporting acts, I came to the table like, these are my artists, these is who I'm bringing along. I want a headline. This is my tour. This is the Independence tour. This is what it is. Can y'all help me out? So they were willing to work. Their thing was, so in order for us to make money, and when I say us, I mean the artists and the venue and all of that, in order for us to make money, you would have to sell a ticket minimum. So that's another type of deal structure that we talk about. We got guarantees. Y'all know what that is. Now we're talking about ticket minimums. So they said, all right, so if y'all sell this amount, anything after that, y'all keep. Now this amount of tickets that we selling, that's going to cover the cost for the venue. That's covering the cost for the sound guy, for the tech guy, and all of that stuff. Shout out Destiny. Thank you. And so that's what that was about. So our structured deal was set up into where we sell a certain amount of tickets. Now, mind you, all the tickets was priced at $10, more than reasonable. And once we hit that minimum, everything after that, we kept 100%. So that was good. I ended up breaking even, had to pay the DJ, pay the host. And so ended up breaking even on that one. So that worked out. Chicago. Now, Chicago was probably I wouldn't say the hardest, but it was a different type of deal. Now, for Chicago, I had to pay what they call a rental fee. Now, if y'all know what that is, it's rental to be able to rent the venue. So I had to pay an upfront amount to rent the venue for this certain amount of time. But being that I paid, it was different payment options. And so being that I paid the highest option, I was able to take 100% of the ticket sales. So they was like, all right, if you pay this amount up front, you pay it a couple weeks before the show, and whatever ticket sales you make, you keep 100% of it minus the credit card fees that each venue will pretty much charge you for the transaction. So it's like a fee every time you swipe a card. There's a fee that they carry on to us as the artist. And so I had to pay for that. Fast forward, I broke even. So that was good. Chicago, it went well. Shout out my brothers, BT. Shout out my brothers, Jakar for helping me book that venue. They already had some like a working relationship with that venue, and so I was able to go through them, or I was able to get the conversation going through them, and then get that booked. Now Oakland, my hometown Oakland, that was the best deal that I had thus far, and if I can move forward, get those type of deals, that'd be the best. So Oakland, Destiny, how long did it actually take you to plan this out before actually going on tour? Great question. It took me about 3 months. So I said earlier, I started doing like general research October 15th. I didn't talk to the first venue until like November. And then from there, it was just reaching out and just continuing to go. So it was like, so I announced the tour in January. I started in October. So that's 2.5 months roughly. And then so that was really what it was, just reaching out. And then from there, we just kind of like, yes or no, and kept it going. Heavy, yeah. Got to get the details read. Summer tour, people want to hear this info, and we got to give it out to help somebody else out. That's how I look at it. I want to, at the end of this all, I want to be able to see plenty of artists going on their own tours by themselves, doing it their way. So Oakland, like I was getting back to, my bad. Oakland tour was the most successful in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's my hometown. Now, let's talk about the deal. Now, shout out to Golden Bull, because he gave, I thank him for this. The Golden Bull is a bar right in heart of downtown Oakland. They're not used to doing a lot of rap shows. They used to do like, the guy who owns it is actually a rock artist, and so he's used to doing rock stuff. He didn't really know anything about hip hop, which gave me more wiggle room to kind of do what I wanted to do. So for the Oakland tour, it was like this. He said, all right, so this is how the deal is set up. It goes back to the ticking guarantee that we said, or not even ticking guarantee. So you make $150. Anything after that, you keep. So you look at it like this, $10 a ticket. So all I had to do was essentially sell 15 tickets, and I made my money back. Now I could have chose to, you had two options. He said you could pay that $150 up front, or we could take it out of your ticket sales. I chose to take it out of my ticket sales. Why? No overhead, don't have to worry about any upfront costs. All I have to worry about at this point is getting people there. And at $150, y'all ask, like, what does that go to? The $150 went to pay the tech guy, which is all the sound guy and the light guy, the people that's working the sound and the light, and the security, who was also checking tickets at the front door. And that's gonna come in handy. So I spent that. I ended up we sold over 100 tickets. So I sold merch in each city too, so you do the math. But it's like stuff like that. So it's just all about what you feel like, what deal works best for you. Like I told him in the initial email, I feel like I could bring out 125 people. Did I know that for sure? No, but I felt like I could. Fast forward, on the Thursday night, we brought out 100 plus people. So that worked out in my favor. That's what that was, and that was dope. So I was able to do that. And then Los Angeles, the final stop, which we haven't finished yet, with everything going on with COVID-19, it kind of delayed it in a sense. We had to, I lost my train of thought. Oh, for the LA style, my bad. For the LA style, right? Their deal was like this, and I wouldn't, like, if I could help it, like moving forward, probably wouldn't want to do this way, but this is what it was. They were like, okay, you could either choose to pay the rental fee, which is like $500 plus, or again, you sell, I think it was like, so up to 60 tickets, the split is, I'm sorry. Their minimum was $300, I believe. I can't remember the actual numbers, but they had a minimum. And once I hit that minimum, everything from there would go 60-40, my favor. So that meant everything after I hit that minimum of the ticket sales, 60% of it I'll keep and 40% of it the venue keeps. And that goes to them to cover the door, the lights, the sound. I have drinks, so that's the bar. That's to cover all of that. And so that was the cost that I had to pay for that. We still in the process of it. Had I would have went through with the show on my birthday, as I was initially trying to do, I would have lost money because people wouldn't have came. A lot of people were scared, apprehensive. That was when the shit first started, so you could just imagine how people were, like, the anxiety and the fear. And so we ended up not doing that. But whenever we do it again, I know it's going to be even better than I imagined. And so that's essentially how that worked. But I mean, it's a lot of info. It's a lot of shit that I can say. I guess for whoever's in here, if y'all got any specific questions, feel free to ask the questions again. This is the Independence Way, episode 1, how to set up your self-funded tour throughout the duration of this series. The purpose of this series is to highlight individuals operating as independent entities in whatever field they're in. And so as this, show progresses, I'm going to be actually interviewing people and getting it going. My first special guest I'm announcing soon. It's going to be somebody real, real cool, near and dear to my heart. And we're going to do that Monday. So moving forward, every Monday and Friday, the Independence Way, I'm going to give y'all a new episode. And it's going to be about music. It's going to be about education. It's going to be about health. It's going to be about a plethora of different topics. But for this one, to kick it off, obviously I wanted to show y'all, or give y'all some insight on how to set up your own tour. Now, I kid you not, if anybody in here is worried about, I don't have enough numbers in terms of social following or streams, I'm going to keep it 100% real. Streams. I probably average, if I'm being 100, probably less than 100 or 200 streams a month, if that. I never really relied on the streaming shit. So when it was time to book this tour, I was like, damn, maybe I don't have the numbers. I was kind of not sure, but it didn't matter. Following, same thing. All that really matters, all these venues care about, Mike Murder was good, all these venues care about is how many people you can bring out your draw. If you somebody that know you can bring out 50 people in Chicago, 50 people in Boston, 50 people in whatever city you in or you want to go to, then you good. So my thing is, exactly, Jakar, it don't matter. Get your feet on the ground and network, 100%, 100%. That's what I learned too. A lot of people be willing to hear you out. If you dope, you dope. If not, whatever. But at the very least, we can all do this, man. So let me know if y'all got any questions, any other questions, let me know. Anything I'm trying to figure out, if there's anything I didn't cover. Oh, damn, this is something that's crucial. I'm gonna spend this last time kind of getting on that. A team. You need a team. I'm gonna say that again. In order to do this shit, you need a team. Now me, I don't have a conventional team, meaning I don't have people 100% invested in everything that I do. Don't get me wrong, I have people I can hit up, any time of the day and get certain things done, to get assistance with certain stuff. I got a lot of people that can help me out. Don't get me wrong, I never discount them. Y'all know who y'all are, but I don't have a quote unquote conventional team. And what I learned in this process, in which y'all can kind of help y'all if y'all have a team, is that having a team on staff for these shows is the most important part. So let me show y'all this. A lot of these venues, they have a sound guy, they have a light guy, they have somebody working the door, which is cool, but some of these venues didn't. So what did that mean? I had to call on people to work the merch table, for example. I had to reach out to people that I knew to work at the merch table. Sound person, sometimes they didn't have sound guys, so we had to work the sound ourselves. Chicago was one of them times. Shout out my boy Jakar. Lights, that's another thing. Sometimes they don't have light guys. I had to do that. I had to figure out who I could reach out to on that front. So what I'm saying is, each venue, there are certain things that need to be in place in order for the show to run smoothly. You got to think, us as artists, most times the day of the show, we just want to worry about performing. And so I found, which was cool because I could handle it, I was ready for it, I was prepared, but something that I would have wanted to do differently or just have or know beforehand is how important having a team in place. I don't care if that's your cousin, your brother, your homie off the block, whoever it is, like you need somebody that you could put in place to do things that you can't do while you're performing. Like when I'm performing, I can't work the merch table. When I'm performing, I can't work the lights. I can't work the sound. I can't have nobody at the door. I can't be at the door checking tickets. So this is all the different things that I learned throughout the process that I would definitely know in advance next time. Because these venues, they'll help you out, but a lot of that stuff comes with the added fee. So if you got your own team, you already know what to put them in place to do, you'll be way better off than trying to rely on the venue. Chicago, for example, one of the things that messed us up, it was like, I didn't know, and this was nowhere in the contract, but the show started at 9 p.m., right? Show started at 9 p.m. But what I didn't know until I got to the venue is the ticket guy at the box office was leaving at 9:30. They didn't let me know that. I didn't know that to the day of. I know that till I got there, actually, so to set up. So 9:30, show starts at 9. Y'all know how we do. Or just anybody when you come to show, you don't go to show on time. It just don't happen. So what happens? After 9:30, people coming in, nobody checking tickets. Those people got in free. It's all love at that point. You're already in, but had I would have known, that's another thing that I would have been able to manage. And so it's stuff like that. Like, you know, I learned a lot of shit as I went, and I can talk hours for it. I only want to keep these to an hour, so it's not too much, but that's really the main thing, man. Make sure y'all get y'all team. Make sure y'all hit the road and do it your way, man. Any more questions? Let me know. Like I said, this is the Independence Way, episode 1. Episode 2 will be on episode 2 will be on Monday. I got a very special guest, so I want to make sure that y'all tune in. My name is Bryce Savoy. If this was useful in any way, feel free to donate. My Cash App, same as my social media handle, Bryce Savoy 510. Make sure that each one is giving y'all information. Again, this is the Independence Way. This is the name of the series. The Independence merch is still available online, BryceSavoy.com. Much love, y'all. My name is Bryce Savoy. I'm from East Oakland, California. And it's the Independence Way. West Coast all day, baby. I'm out. Thank y'all.